So we got some more ideology dropping for JD stuff over in here. Also, there's actually two of them though, but I'm gonna separate them because they're like two separate ideologies. So I figured it would be better if I could just separate the whole thing into their own categories. Makes more sense over in here. The popular struggle continues to its doing different ways. We need four over here, so we're over here. But yeah, we're gonna go as usual from left to right over here. From the leftness to the rightness, whatever the hell over here. Let's see how it is. So we got the Spartacus. Spartacus. Yeah, a name that echoes throughout ancient world and read as needed in modern times. A slave escapee who were master slaves and the gladiators against the corrupt Republican Rome. Died a hero or martyr to the common man. Thousands of years later, the uprising of the German people in Berlin resonated with the name, as the opponents wing of the Social Democratic Party would galvanize the revolutionary zeitgeist against the Kaiser in the war. It was for the eventual victory of the revolutionary side by the German Socialist Republic. Since the Spartacism, the German model of socialism became the shining example of all left-wing around the world, seemingly proving the Marxist theories of revolution in his own country, home country, was a bastion of reactionary land with industrial magnates, the land of Mozart, Hegel, and Goethe formed into a shining example of socialist democracy, granting liberties and rights to people all years to only fathom. So I prove against the bourgeois and their militant powers a better word possible, unfortunately, for not last, of course. The first blow came from the revision by Levy, discrediting SPD and as a public, same with the Bayrak's dominance in the election in 1936, and the death stroke manifested in the first strike color raised above the Brandenburg gates. Fire started by Luxembourg and Liebknecht will now live to see the new world. The ideas didn't die with the fall of Berlin. Many thought they were still the German in their way communism as a model to follow, but sought theoretical base was just to ideologies in 1918, and the many hours of theory and practice were puzzled together in the doctrine of neo-Spartacism. They made elements like the adherence to council democracy, decentralized union-based plan, parliamentary and revolutionary sugar scientific approaches to Marxism, social progressivism, and internationalism. Like that. So, but with their own amendments to the systems of militarism and strong the power to steer the revolution in the right direction, pragmatism, and something to terror to snuff out the reactionary vermin. Calling those women lie 6 feet under, but their souls and spirit are marching into the whole world, sing the International as one unified brotherly choir. You shall see, I mean, the only one I can really hear to that is Japan. And I don't know how far that revolution can spread. See what else over there over here, and there are Spartacus over here that learn this. But considering the fall of Germany here, it's probably the next best thing for many. And look at that Felix socialism. The revolution must be carried out by the proletariat to overthrow the capitalist regime and establish the groundwork of socialism. But what's the proletariat? According to Marx, the urban worker, the man who has lost everything beside his hands, is creating material wealth. Rural laborers does not fit this category at all, remaining a petty bourgeois element whose ownership of land and road cast consciousness. Revolution proved him right for a while. The white and blue collar workers rioted against the liberals and the monarchists. Peasants remained on the fence before the hammer of social democracy began its repression. The revolution went without exception. The landowner was to suffer the second blow after the bourgeois. However, the revolutionary struggle was not confined to Europe alone. In Africa and Asia, the local proletariat eagerly raised their red banners despite lacking productive forces and organized party structures like the SPD. But these brave heroes of the working class decided not to grasp their fate for the people firmly in their hands. With such contradictions, the felt socialism emerged to find all the leftist movement that followed the line of the Second International War, meaning pre-capitalist economic conditions, and thus adopting the classics of their circumstances. Inside the CCP and the Mazda and mobilized the peasant treaters struggle against the landlords and the workerist and the warlordist backers. Destroy a popular line of mass democracy that hung on the Constitution. In Japan, the Red Coalition set up by Yamakawa was united by compromise of the manufacturers, and at some point out near the anarchist governance. In Africa, the people of Tanzania had to rely only on themselves and the knowledge of the jungle to fight off the British and then German colonizers. In the end, what is Felixism? The short answer is desire of revolution regardless of the orthodox line. The liberation for capitalism cannot be postponed, so the people's will shall be brought down upon the bloodsucking parasites in the palaces, whether alongside the factory worker or without him. With or without him, we shall see. We shall most definitely see. But yeah, it's very much so like peasantry socialism. Good fashion peasants. So yeah, never got the national socialism, but like that. It's completely different, people. It ain't like that over here. Some far different. Some far different. It's and yeah, it's nationalist socialism. That list is doing all the heavy lifting for that one. Uh, uh, what we call a vision that was to include seemingly contradictory opinions: the sun and the moon, the black and the white, the desire of social equality, and for the fair distribution of goods and services, for the emancipation of the oppressed in the world without masters or slaves, mixed with the emancipation of the national body. It's reinvigoration and liberation from the outside oppression that the people of the nation shall benefit of all else. Tradition is on the right, the simple fact to the left is bookworm provision and heresy. For those convinced by the lofty promises and encourage left to act, and that is so-calledism. The answer. Story of national socialism is divided by its proponents, perhaps the first of its kind. Further than last, they thought the power of the state must be in a reformist way to bring forth such socialism and democracy. Thus, finishing the unification of Germans, Henry Heinemann in Britain and the defenses in Russia thought the Great War was the great importance, superseding niche notions of class struggle. In Italy and Spain, the dual vanguard of national syndicalism and Mussolini and Mao shed blood to fulfill the ideals of violent syndicalism, fueled with the national mythos. Yeah, I think national syndicalism is a part of popular socialism, from what I remember. It's been a while since I've seen the right ideologies, so I think it was. The national socialism of the current continue to march in line with their predecessors, developing their own street of thought separate from Marx, including rebuttal to social theory and national dissolution, abolition of family and the political state. As such, socialism remains firmly in the economic sphere. Favor of state capitalism to central planning to syndicalism and cooperatism, the political body usually connected around a broad front of pure-hearted revolutionaries ready to selflessly throw themselves into the fire for the class and nation. Usually find themselves in opposition to excessive dogma, the mag and blood of the message led by the national collectivists. Regardless of its evolution, it's still loyal to the revolutionary tradition and hardcore anti-capitalism, anti-imperialism, and anti-reactionary sentiments. As the great man of social theory George Sorel put it, there are many socialism as there are great nations. Kind of socialism, with all that socialism. Look at that. Yeah, all sorts of socialism over here. But no, once again, it's not that kind of. It's not that suck. It's completely different over here. This is the good. These are none of them are bad. That's basically what's going to evolve into, pretty much. And now for proper syndicalism over here. We're going straight up into Kaiserreich. I'm going to jump into over the complex formulas, schemes, and theorems run by Marx and Reich including socialism and the essence means direct worker ownership over the means of production. Furthermore, given Marx distaste for classical forms of state structure and their support of union workers' unions, syndicalism seems as the most logical continuation in the era of ideals. However, levels in the details for most of its history, syndicalism developed outside of Marx's current and the model of Kunin, Sorel, and at least the Embryos. Okay, that's kind of fuming. And I work with them on zero, by the way. They were in the first or same no. Same for the French war for the organized unions, the syndicates, for them the union labors are organ created first for bargaining, then for evolving into a civil struggle. It's the ultimate form of organization only for the collective power a union could run a factory efficiently and justly. Not the bourgeois, the state-appointed manager, henceforth it was up to his members to exercise their power uncontested, thus building the foundation of a radically different state, composed not of the institutes of terrors and regulations, but of the people close to the situation on the ground. Though no single flock without a black sheep, like in the case of Daniel de Leon, who refused the theories of party electoralism and compromising the struggle. The novel with the star syndicalism shined brighter than in Chicago. So the main demonstration in 1886 was brutally repressed by the police and strike breakers. Despite a short lifespan for the general incompetence and humanity of the nation and the failure to counter the Russian invasion, military syndicalism remains a guiding star for those who wish to learn of government of toilers, mixing the liberty class struggle together against the brutal onslaught of tyrannical Leninism, liberal capitalism, and our total madness. All sorts of some interesting things you got going on over here. In terms of, the pop suck. Yeah, not really too much over here that's popular with socialism, but considering the failure of Germany and this time, and Japan being the vanguard of Leninism, really, that vanguard socialism, pretty much. I guess it makes sense that pop suck wouldn't like to be very popular with the people. But that doesn't mean it's completely dead out, if you guys can see. There's some interesting things be going on over in here, and we definitely will be seeing some more of that probably in the future. So we got the other one not being it was the revision one. Yeah. Definitely over here. So that's gonna be the next part of this. So So with that over here, I'll see you guys in that next part over here, being with the revision stuff over here. It'll be a lot longer over here because there's like one more over here. I think, yeah, this one has 4, and for looks of it over here, that has 5. We got one more over here, so it's gonna be a bit longer than usual. Yeah, interesting stuff we got going on over here. Nothing too extensive over here, but considering the state of the world over here, I guess that makes sense, and lore wise. But yeah, until now, see you guys later.